I'm not ready yet, ready to forget now. I'm not ready yet, ready to forget.
Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete. The two of them go flying through the right-hand side, then the left-hand side. Jochen Hahn around the outside, and Lucas Hahn, no father and son, come together on the exit of turn 1.
And the best thing about this is the fact that it's still a 15-minute sprint race. They've not extended the time of the race. It's still just like, it's going to be, 7 laps of Spa-Francorchamps?
We get to the real nitty-gritty of motorsport. Cranston and Smith are side by side for the title in the very final race of the season as they go back up the hill towards the Schumacher. Nils Kor clips the back at 10, Simon Povey clips the side of Nils Kor. They go over the hill and Povey's around. Oh my god, that's going to definitely be the thumbnail when it hit me in the right direction. Thank you so much.
23 cars.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to round 7 of the Formula CDM Americas Series here from Autodromo Los Carlos Pache, known to you and me as Interlagos. I can't believe that we're already here at the penultimate round of the championship. It's absolutely flown by, and we're sure that tonight's racing action is going to fly by as well. It's Chaz Draycott and Dara Thacker in the commentary box. Dara, we had a really interesting night last time at Belle Isle with some big changes in the championship. What do you think we're going to get here out of our drivers?
Well, I mean, it's crunch time, isn't it? This is the penultimate round of the season, really into the last chance for anybody to score big points. And as always, really, with any normal penultimate round of the championship, we can get championship winners tonight. So keep an eye what Sam Fitzpatrick can do. Flax and Sport have already dominated in the team's championship. That is a foregone conclusion. But if Jake Cranston, Aaron Smith, Lee Aberdeen even want to get themselves towards Sam Fitzpatrick at the top, I mean, there's no other way about it. They kind of need Sam to have him there and then to get both wins.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a bit of a tough ask for them to really keep it from him, but we'll see how it goes. We'll have to keep our eye out on it. We'll be doing the maths as best we can over the course of the night, but interestingly enough, the final round of the season, or at least the final meeting of the season, cannot be dropped. So once we get past tonight, we are going to know exactly what the situation is when it comes to points. But we have drivers on track right now practicing. Jake Cranstone up there in the championship fight. He was a front runner early on, wasn't he, Dara? But we were saying at Belle Isle that he hasn't really been setting the world alight the last few rounds.
No, and I guess part of that would have just been the fact that the competition level has been so high the last few weeks. It's been difficult to necessarily get those top-end results. Still consistent, but just not in the same way that we saw him in the opening couple of rounds of the championship. But third fastest time in this practice session looks good. For qualifying, of course, won't be going right at the end of the session like he has done on quite a few occasions this season, so we'll have a decent gauge of what the pace really needs to be from him. But yeah, I think he has the pressure off him now, because he's kind of lost some of the momentum that he built up earlier on in the season, and now it's almost his to win back rather than his to lose anymore. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's going to fire him up. I mean, we know just how good Jake can be, so I'm intrigued to see what he pulls out of these final few rounds. Same with Sam Fitzpatrick as well. Will he calm down with any of it, or will he continue to push at the insane speed that we've seen him do so far this season? We do have a little spreadsheet that does have the, well, quite simply has the points and things on. I'm going to send Dara the copy of that now, because I can't remember if I sent it him. I can't remember if I sent it to you for last season, but it's called Chaz's Simple Who Can Win the Championship sheet. We basically, over the course of the night, will fill out the points, and we'll see what we can do in terms of updating you with the maths. But obviously, drivers' drop scores, as we've said, very, very important as well. So could be anything goes on here tonight. But the session will now tick over into qualifying, and we should have the first couple of drivers out on track in just a moment. But again, just looking at the track map, Dara, Interlagos is a massive challenge, isn't it? It's a wide circuit, but because of the undulation here, it's pretty scary in cars like this, especially when you consider the curbs as well.
Yeah, it really is. And so it's going to be interesting, I think, to see exactly how this one affects the cars. Of course, got to be so careful with how you work with some of the terrain. And I say terrain, it's not Portimao, right? But it is still quite an undulating circuit, particularly down those center S's, and you are going to feel that more in these cars than you would in some bigger, faster machinery. So there's always that to keep your eye, get your teeth into as well. And this is a track that all these drivers will know inside and out, back to front. And it's one of probably the most recognisable laps for any sim racing driver, in fact any motorsport fan in the world. So they're not going to get lost around here.
No, definitely not. Hopefully this man won't either. Victor Oliveira has his home race here today. The Brazilian driver back on track. He's lobbing the car around to get some temperature into the tyres. But to be fair, the drivers had a bit of a discussion previously about, doing these sort of reduced speed out laps. He's actually picked up a black flag for an unsafe exit, because he crossed the line. You saw him cross the white line early. So yeah, unfortunately for Victor Oliveira, well, you saw it. You saw the cogs tick there. He just realised the rule, didn't he? He's just remembered he's not allowed to stop. So unfortunately for him, he must continue on.
He will, and we will see. Well, I mean, it's just unfortunate, really, isn't it, for him to have to cope with that. Interesting as well, because we've got a pretty decent grid size tonight. How that's going to work out compared to what we've seen in weeks gone by, which it's nice really that we've got a nice large grid to get our teeth into. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 drivers here. That was be trying to do it in my head and failing to do it while I was talking.
It fell out, didn't it?
Yeah, I kind of just had to do it. Do it on the mic. But yeah, it's nice that we get a good grid size here. And Interlagos is always going to attract the people, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's a joyous circuit, It's never my first pick when it comes to, actually racing, because, I mean, quite frankly, I never really go too well around this place. But when you do see some of the drivers come here, you think, wow, they really do stand out at this circuit compared to others, It's one of them tracks where people do just tend to go well. My thing with that is Bathurst. Like recently on Gran Turismo 7, the daily races that they have has ticked over to be Bathurst, and I felt like I was going really well there. It was great, but yeah, I don't particularly have any specific liking to Bathurst or anything like that, but I just seem to go alright. Sean Clark on track, going through the centre S's down towards Descida do Lago. This is going to be an important corner, isn't it? There's going to be a lot of slipstreaming out of here tonight, Dara. People are going to have to make sure they've got the run on the car in front of them before they get down to these double left-handers.
I think it's interesting because generally, whenever you come here, think GT cars, think top-end Formula cars, and even prototypes as well. You can't really overtake the middle sector. You can in these cars, though, and I'm interested to see whether drivers almost adapt their, almost mental racing strategy at this circuit for these cars, whether they almost go back to default in trying to make the moves into Interlagos, because I think it's going to be less important than normal to make moves down there.
Yeah.
But is that really going to be reflected in what the drivers do? I think it's going to be the interesting thing. That's definitely something to keep an eye on, because you can go side by side in Ferradura all the way through this middle sector. It is wide enough in these cars, not necessarily in a Formula 1 car or a couple of beefy BMW GT3 cars, but it definitely can in these. But that'll be interesting to watch. But we'll get some times to the board soon, as Victor Oliveira will set a time, but not really setting a time with that black flag. So it'll be Sean Clark to come to the line.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wondered if there'd be some sort of bypass to it that allowed Victor Oliveira to set a time, but no. Sean Clark in the Kalita Motorsport car will be the first one to set a time tonight, and there's 4 purple sectors in it. It's a 1:31.6 for Sean on his first lap of the evening. I think Silas Craig-Vrolik's lap time has been invalidated, because somewhere around the lap we saw a yellow flag on our timing screen next to him, which indicates that, whoa, he's got to slow down. Flipping heck, he slows down for that as well. That was properly Larry, that, wasn't it? Wow.
Yeah, last week, of course, Silas here with us for Belle Isle, and then we've come to Interlagos. I don't think you can really get 2 more different circuits. And somehow it looks like almost visibly that he was enjoying Belle Isle a bit more than he is in Interlagos. Taking the creative line towards the line. I can't remember exactly where the iRacing limits are, but either way, it's not going to be valid from that earlier moment, and he will have to start towards the back of the field for race 1.
Ooh, he's not really getting on with it at the moment, is he, Silas? He's having a bit of a wild ride in this car. We saw him have a bit of a wild ride back at Belle Isle, to be fair. Car was a bit all over the place, and he certainly he gave it everything. John Roberts was happy to score points back at Belle Isle. Just checking the standings now, and John scored, well, a DNF in race 1, but he got 11th place in race 2, which actually scored him a number of championship points. Ended up putting 5 points on the board there to add to his total for this season, and that means that his grand total at the moment is 17, so it's quite a fruitful season. He's only had 2 DNFs, and they were back-to-back, actually. The feature race at Laguna Seca, and then Belle Isle. His best result of the season was an 8th place in the sprint at Montreal, but wasn't that attritional?
What was it just? That was it Alex Fretwell who became the bulldozer down at the head?
Yeah. A little bit.
So yeah, got to take the opportunities when they come to you, though. I guess that's the important thing. To the line he comes then, John Roberts in that number 86 car. Can he go fast? As it looks like he can, and indeed will. 30.8. I think we're going to get into the 29s relatively soon.
Yeah, really lovely lap that by John Roberts. Simon Price next up. I saw Simon on Monday. Had a lovely day with him as ever. Always having a very good laugh. And he's not having a laugh with that apex there. He ran a little bit wide. Really chucks it into the right. And then I love this camera angle. It's almost iconic and synonymous with Formula 1, isn't it? The way that it sort of pans all the way around there. And the cars sort of cling to that inside curb. This corner's difficult, a lot of undulation here, and if you touch that curb, it really sort of resets the camber of the car. Can throw it out wide. A lot of commitment required through the long left-hander here into the final couple of corners now. Late as you dare on the brakes, turn it in a little bit late, and then try not to straddle the curb on the right-hand side too much. Then the run back up the hill seems to last forever in these cars, because, I mean, they're 275 horsepower, which is a lot in a car that weighs about as much as my mouse. But, I tell you, it does still last a while up here, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does. And it's almost the forever gap, or the forever time to try and get to the line and see what your time actually is. And for Silence, P2 just about quicker than Mr. Sean Clark. Not by much, though, just a couple of hundredths, isn't it? Taylor Lane, though, he looks like he's going to go fast. He's been a good run of form in the last few races, as long as he hasn't invalidated it there. This will be a good time from Taylor, and we'll go fastest. Let's see. How nice is iRacing on the track limits? Very nice indeed, because that's allowed.
Lovely stuff. Really well done by Taylor Lane. Had a penalty after Belle Isle for the contact with this man, funnily enough, Danny Weir. That contact that affected a number of cars did land him a 10-second penalty. It was Alex Fretwell got a 5-second penalty for his incident with Lee Berridge that we didn't actually see on the broadcast near the start of race 1. Lee actually got a warning as well for the incident that we did catch on the broadcast, where he lobbed the car into the wall. He did actually apologise to everybody for that in the driver's briefing, which was good of him. He held his hands up and said, look, you know, the emotions got the better of me. Danny Weir, third fastest, just behind John Roberts and Taylor Lane. Next up to make his way around is the Hikawa car of Martin Kenyon. And He is certainly looking speedy right now with 3 purple sectors as of this moment.
Yeah, let's see what the time's going to be for Martin Kenyon. Is it going to be fastest? Looks like it will be. Is it going to be a 29? Oh, so close. 30.02. And yeah, this is going to be a really exciting race, I think, especially when we've got some lap times coming in. Yeah, they're not necessarily overly close, but it's qualifying. They'll all get closer in the race.
Yeah.
I'm just to see how that's going to pan out. And he buried another driver. He's been on a good run of Formula Plate 2. A few drivers that have picked it up in the second half of this championship.
Yeah, he had an unlucky time actually at Belle Isle. He had multiple incidents and then obviously retired from the feature race after a spin. I think he had the most little of spins, but then in recovering he actually clipped the suspension on the wall, which damaged it. That's why he put the car in the barrier afterwards. He goes 4th fastest there behind John Roberts and ahead of Danny Weir. It's actually nice and close in that mid-pack just there. We saw Martin Kenyon take pole position just a moment ago. Earlier on in the discussion in Discord, it was that he's got John Tusting in his sights, actually, the man we have on screen now. He aims to beat John in the championship this season. John is hoping to not let that happen, of course. He moves over to the left. Not his best final sector there for John. And 1.3, give or take, down on the pole time. Mr. Kenyon, I'm sure, will be happy to see that. We're happy to see this, though. Alex Jonsson back on our screens. We haven't seen Alex since the first meeting this season where he won the very first race of the championship. He's definitely got potential here to be a frontrunner.
He does, because it's interesting to see where he stacks up compared to the rest. And this should go P2. Yes, it will. Well, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not ideal.
No, he's either... Well, I mean, he's won... Look at the wheel. He's ignored the driver's briefing and the rules doing that. So that's going to be a fun discussion. Yeah, nicely done. Welcome back, Alex. Stuart Clark then, continuing on his lap for Spontex CDM Esports, who I'm happy to say have now moved up to 2nd in the Teams Championship, actually, behind Flaxen Sport. Everybody knows that it's going to be a bit of best of the rest, because Flaxen Sport could take the Teams Championship title tonight, so long as they have a clean evening. But Stuart picked up some good points at Belle Isle. His teammate Jack Reeve took his first race victory in Formula CDM. But Stuart has been a real solid point-scoring driver this season, and he's hoping to continue that here. He's got a purple sector 4 at the moment in the Spontex car. Heads across the line. Looks pretty decent. It'll be 3rd place, just 3 thousandths ahead of Taylor Lane. Very, very close between those two. Next up, one of the prettiest cars on the grid, though, the Team Verde machine of Alex Fretwell.
Yep, coming out of the final corner up towards the line, that big, long run. One purple sector to shout about. Is it going to be challenging Martin Kenyon, whose time is looking better and better with every passing car that comes through? He will be in the top half of the grid come the start of the session. Of that, there is no doubt. How close can Fretwell get? Looks like he's going to go P2. Indeed, he will. 30.214, and Kenyon's still at the top with only, what is that, 6 drivers left to go. So Martin's he's sitting very pretty, like Vettel at Singapore. Yeah,
he's going to be really happy with this at the moment. It's Martin Kenyon. We now jump on board with Kevin Zemstra in the very bright and gleaming Dragonfly competition car. His teammate having his home race here tonight. Clearly not going to be too happy with how qualifying's gone. Getting that black flag meant he wasn't able to set a valid time. Kevin was the first one to point out to me that I posted the wrong points today in another one of my momentous, fantastic moments. Little moment there as well for him, actually, on the exit of the corner. The back end steps out slightly. He's had purple sectors 2 and 4. Now he powers to the line. It feels so fast from this camera. Starts to run out of puff about 220 Ks. Really close to the wall on the left-hand side. Shorten the run to the line. He doesn't improve on his final sector. But Kevin Zemstra indeed goes fastest by exactly 0.4 of a second. That is a real solid lap, that, by Kevin. And really, well, puts the hopes of Kenyon to bed a little bit.
Yeah, a touch, and there's others coming through that will be looking to challenge that as well. Jack Reeve, one of those out of the final corner, of course. Great win last time out for him at Belle Isle. Really putting on a second half of the season charge as we get in towards the final stages of the Americas Series. Towards the line then, Jack Reeve. He's got no purple sectors, but he has got a lap time. It's going to challenge, and it will go fastest, 29.5, just about faster than Zemstra, but less than a blink of an eye in the top two at the moment. Still, though, the two Flaxen Sports to come.
Well, indeed. We'll have to wait and see how they can do. Lee Aberdeen is next up. He's had a bit of a miserable couple of rounds recently. I think he's barely scored any points in the last 2 race meetings as Lee, so he's been struggling. He's got 2 purple sectors here, though, signifying that he's not struggling with the pace around this track. Across the line he goes, and it's another 3.5 tenths of a second. Once again, Lee Aberdeen showing us the pace that he's got. And a fantastic, fantastic effort to go fastest for now. What about Aaron Smith? He's also got 2 purple sectors on the go. Is he going to be able to improve and go right to the top?
Let's see. Towards the line he comes. It's just that long wait that we have to suffer with to see if Aaron Smith can indeed go fastest. Purple sectors being stolen, I believe, by Sam Fitzpatrick around the lap. But Aaron Smith, can he go fastest? No, not quite. P2 for him of a 29.4 behind Lee Aberdeen. But Sam Fitzpatrick, the one looking to try and go ever faster. Jake Cranston, he's not made it out of the pit lane, has he? Chaz?
I will tell you exactly what's happened with that, actually. He just basically, he's owned up to it in Discord and said, I just completely forgot to go back to my rig and check the timer and missed his slot.
Oh.
So, yeah, unfortunately for Jake, he's missed his slot in quali. Wow, Sam is, well, we asked earlier, didn't we, probably rhetorically, if Sam was going to chill out at all, but 2 purple sectors in the car that sideways, he's definitely not calming down, is he?
Absolutely not. And who can blame him? I think he probably wants to get it done tonight, and yeah, you can't really argue with that, can you? He's got a drop round that isn't particularly strong, so he's not got too much to fall back upon. So if he can bolster that championship points tonight and even win the title, he'll be absolutely delighted. Can he go P2? He does go P2 behind his teammate. If there's one driver you wouldn't necessarily mind being behind, in theory, it'd be your teammate. But that's not how they've played this season, has it? And
no.
It's not like they're thinking about the team's championship anymore, because they've already won that.
Well, yeah, I mean, they are. I think we figured out that the most they can get, it's something like 161 points, and I think they're 150 clear. So it is very much they are going to win this tonight, so long as they both score some points. But yeah, they've definitely not been hand in hand and definitely cooperating with each other. It's been more of a Hamilton and Rosberg teammate pairing, hasn't it? Really, they've been at war while trying to make it look fun. But I think that both drivers have shown insane pace this season. I just think that, with no disrespect to Sam, Lee has been terribly unlucky all season. He's had a couple of hardware failures. He's had, disconnects and issues there. He's had a couple of unforced errors as well. I think we've seen him spin out of the lead twice this season. And then obviously there was the incident back at Laguna Seca after that amazing drive back through the order. He got caught out by lap traffic and an incident ahead of him that took him out of the race. So he'll be definitely hoping for a cleaner night tonight, and obviously with no reverse grids anymore, then he'll be wanting to start from the front and stay there over the course of the night.
Indeed he will, and well, I mean, he's done it before, hasn't he? So there's no reason that he won't be able to do that one again. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting race. There is no doubt about that. I think for Sam Fitzpatrick coming into this, realistically, he has a 29-point lead coming into this race, so he has the chance to make that step up to the title tonight, because all he really needs is to put in another 15 points worth of an advantage. I say all he needs. It's difficult to do,
yeah,
but he absolutely can do it. We've seen this season that it's definitely possible, and yeah, I'm interested in this. I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to pan out for Sam Fitzpatrick at the front of the field, because I think this is a chance for him in these 2 races to win the title and not have to worry about it next week. And of course, with no drop rounds in 7 days' time, you don't really want to be leaning back on that, do you?
No, definitely not. You don't want to be planning your season end to be on a fallback result, do you? You want to make sure that you can score as many points in the later stages as you can. My dry humour kicked in my own head, and I made myself laugh there without even telling a joke with when you said you are interested in this. I was going to say, flipping out you are. We've got the grid then. It's the Flaxen Sport duo on the front row. Lee Aberdeen and Sam Fitzpatrick side by side. Aaron Smith and Jack Reeve, 2 very good friends on row 2. Then it's Kevin Zemstra and Martin Kenyon. A great qualifying from Martin sees him start 6th. He's ahead of Alex Fretwell and Alex Johnson. with Stuart Clark and Taylor Lane side by side on row 5. Then it's John Roberts and Lee Berridge, I believe still teammates at Boosted Motorsport, with Danny Weir and John Tusting on row 7. Then it's Simon Price and Sean Clark, with Jake Cranstone and Celeste Craig-Vrolick making up a very interesting 9th row. Victor Oliveira at his home race will definitely want more out of the race than he had in qualifying. Interesting run down to turn 1 though, Dara. Lots to think about here. Quite a bit of pressure on these drivers for this sort of start.
Yeah, there certainly is. And I think this is going to be a very important run towards turn 1. Of course, the results from race 1 will be the grid for race 2, so you've got to be very careful with how you go about your opening 15 minutes of the evening. And with 2 teammates fighting for the title at the front, Lee knows he has to win the race. There's no way about it. Sam knows that if he beats Lee Aberdeen and Aaron Smith in this race, he'll almost certainly put one out on the title.
Absolutely will. Let's see how it goes then, shall we? The first race of the night in the Formula CDM Americas Series from Interlagos gets underway. And because of the camera angle, it's hard to tell who's actually got a good launch. Looks like Sam Fitzpatrick starts to plague him again. Aaron Smith goes round the outside into turn 1 with down the inside Jack Reeve, and Smith is, he's gone completely around contact with Sam Fitzpatrick. Jack Reeve moves up into 2nd place. He's making a habit of having really good starts in these races. Jake Cranstone has gained 5 spots already as they head down towards Desida de Lago. There's going to be a lot of slipstreaming going on here, but Aaron Smith, one of the championship protagonists, already out and around at turn 1. Taylor Lane down the inside of Stuart Clark. Danny Weir trying to get his nose in there as well. Nearly not enough room as they head through there, but then they go back up the hill and it all looks nice and tidy for now. But Cranstone, 6 places gained. What a start that is, Dara. Looks like he's not going to stop there either.
Yeah, exactly what he needs to do to try and keep his championship ambitions alive after the innocuous mistake of missing his qualifying slot. Inside line on Danny Weir to make it yet another spot, and it looks like he can do it. Where's Danny? There, nearly contact as they make their way through turn 8, but they just about make it work. And Cranston already inside the top 10.
Wow.
Meanwhile, moves Berridge behind on Danny Weir as he's getting shuffled back in the order, and Silas is working his way up the field as well. It was difficult at turn 1 for Aaron Smith, wasn't it? Because I don't think he really expected Jack Reeve to be on the inside, but there was nowhere for Sam to go, and it's unlucky that the 2 of the title contenders have come together in that way.
Yeah, it's a big shame, but unfortunately, like you say, Aaron, I don't think knew they were 3 wide. He's actually regained a place from Sean Clark since then. Let's go on board with Aaron and see how it worked. Just not sure there was enough room on the inside for him. Well, sorry, not enough room left. Gets a great initial launch up through the gears. Very even start with Lee Aberdeen. And as he comes in towards turn 1, he turns down, and yeah, there just isn't enough room for 3 cars, unfortunately. He mustn't have known they were 3 wide, and, well, it's affected him now. His teammate's just gone off as well. John Roberts in the wall. John Roberts is around, and he's off the circuit with broken rear suspension. Let's have a look at what happened here. Oh, Aaron makes it 3 wide the other way this time. Down the inside of Victor Oliveira. Oh, dearie me. He then sends it wide. John then goes wide. Whoa, and loses it over the curb. It was all a little bit messy, that, wasn't it? All a little bit messy.
Yeah, not easy to pick your way through there. This is Aaron Smith, his teammate, trying to go through as well. On board with him. A little bit easier through turn 1 than it was last time by, but he's making it 3 wide now on the inside this time. He picks off both positions and gets himself up the order as his teammate is in behind. Spin from Jack Reeve from near the front of the field. The big Paddock at turn 10. Oh, was there contact? Not too sure, but he is now all the way back into the, well, bottom half of the order.
Yeah, that's a big shame for Jack. He was right up there. He was in P2 at the time, actually. Sam Fitzpatrick had gotten back in front of him. Kevin Zemstra was the car behind. He's just got in too hot. Just got in too hot, and it's looped around on him. Jack is always one to push very hard indeed, but unfortunately it's backfired. Nothing backfiring so far, though. Touch wood for Lee Aberdeen. He's leading this race, as we have seen him do a number of times in the sprint race. From the front of the order, just says, thank you, I'll have some of that. Bit of a battle going on here. Martin Kenyon, Stuart Clark. Sorry, that's Taylor Lane, actually, in there. With Jake Cranstone, and good to see Alex Johnson back. He's managed to get the car repaired after that massive send into the wall in quali. But this is pack racing. This is like IndyCar. This is the sort of racing these cars were designed for.
Yeah, exactly. And this is exactly the kind of race we want to be watching as we work our way in towards turn 4 and 5. Cars going wide off the road. Cars going on the right line. Who's where? Nobody knows. Martin Kenyon going wide. Jake Cranston coming through. And then you've got Taylor Lane involved in all this as well on the inside line on that DNA Motorsports car. White on up the inside as we see Jack Reeve try and do in the Spontex car. Just about keep it in through Ferradura, but looks like Lee Berridge has the advantage no matter for Jack Reeve, though. He will still send it to the inside as they're really giving it some to each other, aren't they, through this middle sector. But it's like we said, isn't it? You can go racing in these cars in the middle sector, and I'm glad that we're trying it already.
Yeah, people are not chilling out, are they? Aaron Smith at the back of this as well. Aaron's never really chill. He's going to be trying to gain some places as soon as he can, but he's got Silas Kragvrolic in front of him. These two have raced each other a bit before from what I can remember. And Aaron, well, he's not going to be backwards and going forwards. Jake Cranstone, by the way, 12 places gained up into 5th position from 17th on the grid in 3 laps. Incredible. Victor Oliveira has just gone off the road, unfortunately. Aaron is playing games here, getting very close to Silas Kragvrolic as they go across the line, making sure that they have each other under pressure. Alex Fretwell running well in 4th position at the moment. Aaron down the inside. Oh, he's gone in hot. He's hit Danny Weir and he's hit Stuart Clark. Oh, dearie me. Well, I said he wasn't going to be backwards and going forwards. He's just pushing him out of the way.
Going to the rear of the field at this rate, isn't he? And
Oh,
that's the issue.
Danny, yeah, Danny's got a meatball flag as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's not looking good. Ooh, it's Alex Johnson just about defence from Taylor Lane, and that looked like it was going to be a crash, but it wasn't. As Aaron Smith is just ahead of Silas there. A little bit of numbers for you all at home. The gap between, we see Alex Johnson fighting with Taylor Lane. The gap between Sam Fitzpatrick and Lee Aberdeen coming into this race was 49 points. Now, if Sam manages to finish 2nd behind Lee in both races, Lee would only gain 8 points, and so therefore would be out of contention going into next week. Also, based on the position that currently Jake Cranston and Aaron Smith find themselves in, if this was to be replicated in race 2, Sam Fitzpatrick, right now and in race 2, Sam Fitzpatrick would win the title, so he's in a very good position. It's on others to make up positions, like Aaron Smith is there. Oh, that was Lee Berridge, sorry.
Wow.
Aaron Smith move. I don't know how no one hit each other.
How did they not hit each other? How did they not hit each other there? There's got to be some sort of morphing through one another here. Some iRacing tomfoolery. That was insane. Lee Berridge went way too hot. Didn't hit the car in front. Oh, that's just a perfect car's leg through there. It was calculated, that. Aaron Smith, he's involved in it now as well. Stuart Clark in there as well. Lee Berridge somehow not into the back of Alex Johnson again. The two of them are right together. Goodness me, there's so many position changes going on in this scrap here. 6 of them in the middle. Lee Berridge down the inside. Alex Fretwell and Jake Cranstone are having dramas. Jake's gone off. I don't know where to look. I do not know where to look. This is insane. Taylor Lane and Jack Reeve giving each other a wheel. Oh my goodness me. This is proper racing. There's going to be a big accident at some point, surely. Oh, hold your breath. It's terrifying.
I mean, Aaron Smith's trying not to hold his breath because he's just trying to make his way through calmly, but he can't really keep it calm when there's this kind of mess in front of him. Inside line.
Oh, no.
Well,
Oh, no.
Oh, there's the contact, but there's no crash. Smith gets through. Berridge gets through on Clark. Here comes Silas around the outside, ducking and diving, weaving his way to try and get himself into the right position. It's almost like watching a boxing match, more than a race at the minute. Silas will have the inside line on Stuart Clark, but will back out of that one as they single file out through Jung Sao. But at the front of this order, Jack Reeves passing Taylor Lane as he still recovers from his spin at turn 10 a few laps ago. And there are, 7 cars by a second and a half?
It's insane.
They're still battling for P4 as well in front.
This is insane. Absolutely insane. So much movement between all of these cars. This is proper IndyCar racing, this. Johnson goes to the middle then. Jack Reeve now is on the inside, going 3 wide into turn 1. Taylor Lane's got to take a really wide line. And oh, dearie me, it nearly doesn't work. Taylor's lost it. Taylor's around. Oh, contact with Aaron Smith. The two of them are locked together, and they're both in the wall. It is a massive shame. Oh, and they both sound like they're absolutely foobarred as well. That is a huge shame. The two Blade Speed cars come together. I don't know if Lee Berridge has got damage, but his car didn't look like it was going in a straight line. His teammate Silas, who now has the correct coloured wheels, trying to go around the outside. I've only just noticed they're 14 and 41, sharing the digits. But goodness me, I breathe.
But you can't breathe because then the teammates go side by side. Really very good. Silas is trying to go around the outside of Lee Berridge. Or Lee Berridge around the outside, sorry, Silas. In towards turn 7 they go, ever tightening right, but they just about make it through. Johnson has got himself slightly clear at the front of this, but this is where it all started. 3 wide in towards turn 1, they made it through there, but they didn't really work in turn 2. Bit wide, bit of a slide, and then Aaron Smith is bouncing over. And, I mean, realistically, Aaron needed to gain points on Sam Fitzpatrick tonight to stay in the championship contention.
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening from here.
No, unfortunately, I think that might be his championship charge very much hindered, unfortunately for him. You never know, though. It is Aaron. He is rapid, but he's having to tow back to the pit lane. Just depends on whether we see how he gets on in race number 2. Alex Fretwell and Jake Cranstone were having an insane swap of positions a few moments ago, and I want to look back at that before all of this went on. So Cranstone had gotten in front of Fretwell for 4th place. Oh, I mean, Jake was going left, Alex. He just drove onto the grass. And then Jake really pushes his luck round the outside. But yeah, that was scary stuff, that, from Fretwell, wasn't it? He was overly committed there, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
The gap was...
Been a few of those.
Sorry, go on.
There's been a few of those moments so far this evening. They've just not come off badly, have they?
No.
With overcommitment. But that's not to say that necessarily won't. 5 minutes left of this race.
I know.
Time's flying. As is Johnson up the inside.
Oh, no. Oh, Lee Berridge is off. Oh.
Stewart to go, was there?
No. I think Lee hits the car in front. There was a moment as, Johnson's got in deep there. Lee just catches him. Oh, and to be fair, actually, I don't think Stewart actually hit him off. I think he just lights up the rears after the contact and it goes right. Something that's going right at the moment is Silas Krag-Vrolik's race. 9 places gained as of Johnson getting past him, but if he gets back in front, it's 10 places gained. Welcome back, Silas. I think these two are good mates from a team as well. I think they're both used to drive for Alcantech, these two. Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, oh my goodness, from not setting a lap time in qualifying to maybe the top 8, not a bad day in the office at all, especially for only, 11 minutes so far.
Yeah.
John Tusting, good day for him so far as well. Ahead of Stuart Clark, and then it's Sean Clark behind. Why are they next to each other? Why are they next to each other? Luckily, they're not in battle. Oh my goodness!
Nah, that is not on.
Alex Johnson, Swedes normally known for smart, considered, and smooth engineering, but that is not quite what we're seeing tonight, Chaz.
No, we're not even seeing a replay. No, that for me was not on. I mean, Silas, he actually backed out there. He lifted, then went down the inside. Alex at least only moved once really there. He got to the inside line, but this I'm not happy with. I'm going to tell you that. Let's have a little look from how it looked from Silas. I mean, they might just be having a bit of fun because I know that these two know each other and they're good mates. That's scary. But I suppose there was no overlap. But, yeah, that's not really on that by Alex. I mean, you always say that you're only supposed to move once. There's about 9 moves there. But I tell you what, someone that's really doing the job at the moment, we're not going to look at him, but you know who I'm going to talk about. Because otherwise it'll just go to pot. Kevin Zemstra running in 3rd place at the minute. He's having a good run into a podium position from 5th on the grid. 2.8 seconds over Jake Cranstone, who's now gotten away from Alex Fretwell. And I tell you, Martin Kenyon, started 6th on the grid, and he stayed there. Martin has held his own, and he stayed away from all the nonsense and the battles going on. Jack Reeve has only lost 3 positions since he started the race. Considering the dramas that he had down at turn 10, that's not a bad result either, is it?
No, not at all. And, looking to try and put himself back into a position where he can fight for the top 5, maybe even the podium, in that longer feature race that is coming up. Where it is, I mean, kind of double points, not quite in that way, of course, but sort of doubling up for the win, just about more than double, for second, and of course it goes down to 15th in the second race. But either way, the bigger points to be won a little bit later on. Silas going for his 10th position gained again on Alex Johnson. They're just inviting Stuart Clark and contesting onto the back of this. There's a bit of contact on the exit. Silas tried to squeeze him out, and Alex said, nope, I'm not having that. And is still trying to come back down the inside. Sweden also known for its DIY, and he is trying to do this all himself, isn't he?
He's trying to put together a move, you could say. Well, he's trying to put together a move, and they haven't sent him all the screws by the look of it, because he's got a few loose. He's absolutely all over the place. Look at that. Stuart Clark goes to the middle. Oh, no. Stuart, don't do it. You're making your own bed, ironically, from IKEA. Oh, no. Silas. Silas has gone really deep. He's ended up in Sweden. Now gets back on. Fair play. Took the car in nicely there. He really recovered that well. And now Alex will breathe a sigh of relief because he doesn't have to make 9 moves down this straight to block a position. This is nuts, this race, Dara. This is great.
Silas heard that they had the meatballs at the exit of turn 1. Yes. Yeah, he's still there. He's picked them up and he's still going. He's munching them all the way down through sector 1. But he's all careful. He's ducking and diving.
What's he doing?
Where's he going to go? He's going to go to the outside, to the inside. There's 2 cars in front of him, but he can't find the right line. Inside for Alex Johnson. There's a bit of contact, though, with Stuart Clark, who goes a little bit deeper through turn 7. Here comes Silas, doing the up and under. In the middle of Johnson, who has to give it up. Silas became both places here. He has to turn 10, and he's done it, you know.
I have never seen anybody do that. I've never seen anyone make that move. That was amazing, and they're still battling. It's like nothing changed. Just slipped through like Batman. That was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. John Tusting's going to be laughing all the way to the bank here. Lee Aberdeen, who leads this race and has done since the start, is on to the final lap now, and he is pushing hard. You can see the body language of that car. He's got his teammate Sam Fitzpatrick chasing him down. Then Kevin Zemstra. I like this camera angle. Jake Cranstone next up in 4th place. 5th place Alex Fretwell, and just behind him Martin Kenyon in 6th place. And you guessed it, Jack Reeve is then in 7th. And then we need to go a bit further back to watch all this mayhem unfold as Johnson back down the inside of Stuart Clark. 1 lap to go. Oh, contact again. Stuart's lost his front wing. And now he's not.
Oh, just chaos, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is the last lap as well. All of a sudden, when did that happen?
I know, innit?
Yeah, crazy. All the way through. And meanwhile, nothing has happened in the top 5 all round.
No.
And it's great that we've had all this battling for minor point paying positions. I mean, Silas is going to do all that for 3 points. For 3.
Oh, don't remind him.
Well, yeah, we'll tell him afterwards. But like, yeah, crazy racing and great to see it all the way through that race.
Absolutely is. Well, I have to tell you, it's been a while since we've seen Lee Aberdeen on the top spot. He won the feature race back at Montreal. Since then, he hasn't finished higher than 6th. He's had 2 DNFs and what was classified as a 16th. But Lee Aberdeen takes the win at Interlagos in the sprint race, and with Sam Fitzpatrick second, that means that Flaxton Sport are the Formula CDM Americas Series teams champions. We could see it coming a mile off, but they've still had to go and do it. And they have done diddly done it, as Ned Flanders would say. Jake Cranstone, what a drive. 13 places gained. What a drive. And fair play, Silas is going to have to enjoy these 3 points. He's going to have to savour them all if he gets them.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay. Right. Well, they're all getting a telling off. Interesting. Very interesting. Well,
it's great this for me because, in the day, a few days a week, I am an assistant in the classroom and I let the teacher do the telling off. And you're going to do the same thing, Chaz. It's great. Just do the same thing as I always do.
I don't really know where to start with that. Yeah, I'm angry
He's
typing. I'm angry typing. No, I'm not. Lee Aberdeen will be though, won't he, Dara? What a fantastic drive that was. Lights to flag, easy as you like.
Yeah, easy. And putting himself into a better position for the championship. Not perfect, of course, because he needs Sam Fitzpatrick to lose ground in race 2 to have any hope at the championship in 7 days' time. If that race 1 result was to be replicated again in race 2, Sam Fitzpatrick is going to win the championship tonight by 1 point. And by that I mean he'll be 41 points ahead with 40 points remaining. That's a lie because it's 45 points. So what I've just said is untrue, and I'm realising that in real time. And I would like to reverse every statement I've made in the last 30 seconds, Joe.
Oh, that was amazing. You were so committed. You were so committed. Let's have a look at the result of that race. And the first race of the night is won by Lee Aberdeen with Sam Fitzpatrick in second place, Kevin Zemstra in third. Jake Cranstone finishes fourth with Alex Fretwell getting a top 5. Martin Kenyon, great drive from him, 5 points out of the sprint race and a good starting position for race 2. Jack Reeve is 7th ahead of Silas Craig-Vrolick. That's the hardest 3 points. That's the hardest he's ever worked for 3 points, I was going to say. Next up was Alex Johnson with John Tusting completing the 10. He finished ahead of Stuart Clark. Simon Price just outside the top 10 ahead of Sean Clark with Danny Weir and John Roberts on the lead lap. Lee Berridge was 1 lap down, so too was Taylor Lane and Aaron Smith, with Victor Oliveira also out of the race. Now, I am happy to tell you that we do have potential points here to show you the theoretical points. Now, this is without taking the drop scores changed into consideration. Lee Aberdeen would jump ahead of Aaron Smith in the championship by 5 points, but Sam Fitzpatrick would have a hell of a lead over Jake Cranstone. And as we look at the spreadsheet, it's not quite all Sam Fitzpatrick's way just yet, is it?
No. And I'm also realising that I've been calculating it to 40 points rather than 45 the whole time. So if Aberdeen wins again, he'll still be in contention anyway. That's ideal for me. Really
you've had a nightmare there, haven't you, mate?
Really showing the great work that I've put into this broadcast tonight. But yeah, either way, Sam Fitzpatrick's in a great spot. And I think he's going to put himself into a position as things stand that even if he doesn't win tonight, it would require either Cranston or Aberdeen to win both races next week. You feel like Aaron Smith's out of it now. Yes, he's still in it mathematically, but he's going to start at the back of the field. He's already going to be losing points, and he is already 51 points back. It just doesn't feel like it's happening for Aaron Smith tonight. So it really does feel like it's coming down to Fitzpatrick, Cranston and Aberdeen. If Fitzpatrick can beat Aberdeen in this race, then he will have got enough points to take Aberdeen out of contention. If he does win this race and Cranston finishes off of the podium, then he will win the championship. I'm glad I took so long to work that one out, but he will, because it would be a 12-point game if he wins and Cranston comes fourth, and he's 34 points in front. That's 46. Yes, that's enough, Chaz, because it's 45, not 40, as I've said all evening long. Yeah,
absolutely. So, basically, he needs to win with Cranstone off the podium, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's the lowdown, everybody. Thank you very much, Dara. We'll just take a quick break here on Chaz Drake.
Right this time.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back in a few minutes' time. Enjoy the warm-up. Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott and Dara Thacker in the commentary box for the Formula CDM Americas Series. And no matter what you have been doing tonight, you'll get stressed out by the first race if you watch that back. Oh, and Stuart spinning. Look at that. Go on, 360 it. Yes, son. I tell you what, Dara, that was one of the most breathtaking races of the season, but it was maybe because, go on then. Maybe because our hearts were in our throats, meaning we couldn't breathe.
Maybe, or also maybe because it was also full of each meat was from IKEA. That's another reason.
Well, yeah, most of the race was themed around furniture.
It was. It was. You could say it was fitting, right?
Oh.
I'm so ashamed, so I'm proud.
You've disassembled
we've
me.
got.
It's happening.
Yeah. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at these folks.
Oh, for God's sake.
But yeah, 40 minutes of racing to go. Do you know what that means, Chaz, really? That's 40 minutes more for us to just come up with some random puns.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
just work them out.
40 minutes is about how long it takes to walk around IKEA if you don't buy anything.
Actually, can I actually make it while we're at the end of warm-up?
Do it.
I want to make a very quick point about. I've said about this about IKEAs forever. They need to do a go-karting series around IKEAs where they push back. Listen, they push back some of the the shelves where the arrows are in the middle. Do like rally time trial go-karting, and do one in every IKEA around the country. You can make a series out of it. It'd be amazing.
Maybe even if it's not just endorsed by IKEA. I know someone with a couple of sodies if you want to go and
yeah, go on then.
cause some mayhem.
It'd be great in a warehouse somewhere.
Oh, no, in IKEA.
Oh yeah, delightful.
They give you them big trolleys that you can bring them in and out on like a pit lane.
Exactly. We need racing. That's what we need.
It's equipped for it. Lee Aberdeen and Sam Fitzpatrick will start on the front row of the grid. Kevin Zemstra and Jake Cranstone will start on row 2. Then it's Alex Fretwell and Martin Kenyon. That seems familiar. Jack Reeves starts in 7th place alongside Silas Craig-Vrolick. Alex Johnson and John Tustin complete the top 10. Stuart Clark and Simon Price are on row 6, with Sean Clark and Danny Weir just behind. Then it's John Robertson, Lee Berridge, Taylor Lane and Aaron Smith hoping to recover after a poor first race. Victor Oliveira will start in 19th position. Hold on to your hats, everyone, because this is bound to be an absolute belter of a feature race as Formula CDM Americas Series gets underway from Interlagos for the second time tonight. A bit of fanning about in the background there as all the drivers go this way and that way, trying to find a decent bit of real estate on the circuit. Cranstone sticks to the inside line. Zemstra tries to go around the outside of Sam Fitzpatrick and gets the move done. Once again, Fitzpatrick losing places off the start. Doesn't have a start to remember. Aaron Smith has gained 3 places off the start already, and he's going to want to continue that on. But yet again, we have a clean start from Lee Aberdeen. That's exactly what he needed, Dara.
Yep, it is, and perfect game to get away at the front of the field. Be careful, Sam does not want to get involved in an incident here, particularly with Jake Cranston. As Cranston goes wide, he will stay forced off the road by the championship leader, as Martin Kenyon has got 1 spot to Jack Reed in all of that. But it is a much more settled start than it was in race 1. I think drivers don't want to throw away a 40-minute race before they really get going. As Alex Johnson looks to throw it up the inside, but it's not going to work out there. It's Silas going to make moves himself ahead of Martin Kenyon. And I mean, Silas moved up 10 positions in race 1, already looking to make his way up the order in race 2.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Silas. He was a championship contender in the Formula 1 series a couple of years ago. Always up there as, whoop, dearie me. Simon Price has had a bit of a drama. I think Danny Weir involved in that one as well. Taylor Lane trying to avoid all of it. That's given a few more places to Aaron Smith now, who moves up into 13th. He's got a long old time to continue getting those places. Just needs to keep his head on here and not overdo it. I think that, to be fair, it wasn't really his fault that he was out of the race in the first race either. He just got caught up, wrong place, wrong time, and he's going to try now to do his best to lead the way. Lee Aberdeen actually having to go defensive this time around. Kevin Zemstra in the picture. We didn't see Lee get under any sort of pressure in the first race, as, would you believe it, Alex Johnson and Silas Craig-Vrolick have come to blows.
That is shocking. And I'm glad I was sat down for that one. Sean Clark involved in all of it as well. At the back of the field now as they all try and make their way through. Silas at the back. Taylor Lane with a black and orange flag. Victor Oliveira with a black and orange flag. What's happened to them as well? They just got caught up in all of it.
God's earth has gone on here.
It started off with Kenyon trying to make his way through. Back ahead. Johnson just decided to insert himself into the conversation and Well, he went too deep.
He decided to insert himself into Silas Krug-Vrolik.
Well, yeah. Was still trying to find that those meatballs on the outside, but he just found some grass this time by Taylor Lane. That was behind it. It's a separate incident, but kind of all mixed into one in the end.
Yeah, a bit of mayhem going on down at turn 1 there. A couple of them all kicking off together. This is Danny Weir, Simon Price. Whoa, Danny, bye-bye. Danny boy. Oh, and Simon runs wide into Taylor, who gets collected by Victor Oliveira and then Sean Clark. Ouch. That was a horrible set of circumstances. I don't know if Simon just got distracted by Danny or what, but he just goes a little bit deep into turn 1, clips Taylor, and then Sean tries to get through it, and he spins as a result. Oh, that was very, very messy. Plenty going on down there. I can already see that from the far chase cam giving me a headache. Jake Cranstone down the inside of Sam Fitzpatrick for 3rd place. You can tell Sam's chilled it out a little bit there. He's not fighting that too hard because he knows he needs to hold on to championship points. Then we've got Reeve and Fretwell fighting over 5th and 6th.
He does, and yeah, I guess he doesn't really want to throw it away, and he'll kind of just have to come through if he has to, but I guess a 31-point advantage is kind of that danger zone, I think. If you have a bad race 1, and for example Jake Cranston can just kind of storm his way to the front, you know, his gap is going to be under 20 points heading into the final race and would require a Fitzpatrick comeback. You know, just throwing out, you know, examples out there, I don't think you really want to be putting yourself into that position, so I think Sam may have to be a little bit smart with how he does the strategy here. He's done that all season long. He's going to have to do it again. But I mean, Lee Aberdeen's not fast, is he? He's doing everything he can to try and win this race. And as things stand, we're putting himself firmly in 3rd place in the championship and maybe moving himself up to 2nd if things go his way.
Yeah, I mean, Lee's going to try and recuperate whatever he can. He's definitely got the pace for it. There's been multiple occasions this season where we've seen that he's been the quickest driver on track, and he's usually topping a practice session or a qualifying session, so it's good to see that finally getting rewarded with these results that he's having. You can see, though, he's trying to break that slipstream. He knows how important it is in these cars. Kevin Zemstra, a driver that's turned around his bad luck as well recently and having a solid run. He's got Jake Cranstone. Speaking of a solid run, look at the speed of that. Cranstone down the inside, trying to take 2nd position. Kevin squeezes him to the inside. Cranstone doesn't quite fully get rid of the overlap, but then he will do through turn 3. Lovely move that by Cranstone. That's now 2 places gained, but that's also a sigh of relief for Lee Aberdeen, because if these guys continue to fight like this, he can drive away. So I think if they want to make sure that they can stop Lee, well, they just need to try and work together a little bit. But would you do that if it was this competitive?
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? It's difficult. Ooh, there's black.
Oh.
Ooh.
What on?
Well, Aaron Smith, black flag. Lee Berridge, black flag. Aaron Smith in the air. They must have hit each other about 5 times. I don't know how else you get a black flag on like about 4. There's no contact. There's no contact. There's no contact.
Oh.
There's oh, that's just unlucky. No one's really turned into anybody else.
No.
Just suctioned together there.
Yeah, that was very, very weird. Very, very weird. There was barely a car's width on the right is what my initial argument would be, but then Lee gradually came to the left a little bit. Probably no sort of purposeful move over to the left, but like you say, the two of them just sort of magnetised together. That was really, really weird. So Aaron likes to do this. He does like to squeeze people to their racing line, but then just now... Oh, that is very unlucky. It's a ridiculous looking accident.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, Lee moves over a touch, but I mean you'd never expect to be into that position after that, would you really?
No.
But sadly for Aaron Smith, that's a matter of championship contention. Done and dusted for him.
Yeah.
And it is now down to just Fitzpatrick, Cranston, and Lee Aberdeen mathematically, let alone anything else. So this is, it's going to come down to the wire, isn't it? Realistically, between these guys. Lee Aberdeen, though, doing a good job to defend from Cranston, because Cranston, he's clearly given himself the hurry up. He's not hanging about at all. Got through on Fitzpatrick, got through on Zemstra. Now he's challenging Lee Aberdeen at the front of the field. But I guess for both Lee Aberdeen and Jake Cranston, they're the two trying to chase down Sam Fitzpatrick. If they trip over each other, well, I mean, it's just handed the title on the plate to the 71 car.
Yeah, absolutely will do. Just speaking of Aaron Smith as well, he's going to have scored no points here tonight, so that means he will actually gain his drop score, which was 12 points. So he's ended up scoring some points as a result, but yeah, that's because his worst meeting before tonight was 12, and I'm sure he won't enjoy to have enjoy the fact he's had to pick that up. I'm just trying to have a quick look at when that was in the championship, and it was round 5, so that would have been back at Laguna Seca, funnily enough. 2 meetings ago. Cranstone to the right hand side of Lee Aberdeen. He's going to try and go around the outside here and then down the inside into turn 2, but Lee Aberdeen too quick, says no thank you. I'm going to hold on to the optimal racing line, and I'm going to keep this. Kevin Zemstra now right in the wheel tracks of these two. Look at this. Insanely close stuff. Lee moves all the way over to the left. And now, Kevin having to lift out of it right up behind Jake as they go to Decido de Lago. Sam Fitzpatrick's going to be rubbing his hands together here, though, knowing that this fight is going on in front of him, because he's got a front row seat to it as well, so he gets to keep an eye on the competition.
He does. Let's see, as they run their way up towards Veradura once again. Oh, it's going to get close. Grass trying to find that inside line. Fitzpatrick, he's just sitting back and twiddling his thumbs and thinking about furniture, probably, as he just watches it all unfold in front of him. Because he just doesn't want to really get himself too heavily involved here.
No.
But at the same time, he's not going to say no if the opportunity presents itself to gain 2 or 3 spots. This is inviting Jack Reeve, who's not going to be scared to make a move either, and Fretwell. So the entirety of the top 6 are, well, they're here. The battle for the lead.
They absolutely are. Stuart Clark has gained 4 places so far this race, and compared to the very strong drives through the order that we saw by some of the drivers in the sprint race, he's the biggest mover in the pack so far, Stuart Clark, with 4 places. Danny Weir and John Roberts both gaining 3 apiece. Sean Clark is currently in 15th position, and if he remains there, he's on his way to his first championship points in Formula CDM, which would be a great achievement. Jake Cranstone side by side once again, this time a little bit further in front, but Lee Aberdeen comes all the way up, as he is well entitled to, and keeps Jake pinned there. He keeps him caged in the corner and says, no, this is where my car is going to go, this is where your car is going to go, and the battle continues. He stays to the left-hand side. See, that's the thing. One move makes it clear, stays over there. I love that. Really good stuff from Lee Aberdeen. He's not taking the mick. He's just putting the car in the right place, and he's leaving it there. Kevin Zemstra trying to sneak up the inside. Didn't quite work for him that time round, but you do get the sense here that Zemstra does want to have a go himself rather than letting Cranstone be the one to open the door.
Yeah, but I think Zemstra's going to have to be very careful and use some of that nous to try and make his way through. I mean, himself running with Jack Reeve for a top 5 in the championship, so yeah, I guess maybe he won't be thinking about that. Maybe he doesn't care if it's 5th or 6th, because it's not the title, right? Or even the top 3. But either way, he will still be wanting to gain some ground and definitely get a win. He's had a couple of really difficult evenings, notably Homestead, where he didn't even get to turn 1 in either race.
Yeah.
And neither was his fault, so not been the easiest of seasons for the Dutchman. And I mean, even in the team championship as well, it's not been easy for Dragonfly and himself and Victor Oliveira. No one close to flat in sport, right? But it's been tricky to pick up consistent points. Kind of same for Alex Fretwell, isn't it? In P6, he's done well in some races, but it has been very up and down.
Yeah, 100%. He's had a bit of an up and down season. Got a small penalty of just 5 seconds back at Belle Isle for an incident with Lee Berridge. It didn't end up affecting his position, but as per the regulations, he was handed that penalty. But now he's having a pretty solid night so far tonight. Scored some decent points in the first race. He's hoping to carry that on. He tried to make it to the Race Retro event at the weekend, where I was hosting the live stage. Autograss, which is Alex's, I'm going to call it Alex's sport. It's the sport he loves. Was well represented at Race Retro. Spoke to Liam Doran as well, actually. He says it's Doran, not Duran, the rallycross hero, as I called him, with the next game's gold medal. He was driving a twin Hayabusa engined Mini around the rally stage that was rear wheel drive. Imagine what that's like. It's insane. It's a pickup as well, a pickup Mini with 2 Hayabusa engines in it, and it's about 500 horsepower and it weighs about 600 kilos.
Goodness me.
I know.
That's the kind of thing you'd make in Forza, isn't it?
Yeah,
with some kind of weird tune that you put on the car.
It's like a real life Hot Wheels car.
Yeah, my favourite one that I have raced with friends is we do a race where whoever finished 6th would win, but all of these cars were like big monster trucks, but the suspension was so bouncy that when you put your foot down, you were literally bouncing up and down the straights. Great fun.
Like that.
Kind of feels like this, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
That last race almost felt like who can finish 10th.
Yeah.
Whoever finishes 10th wins, and they're all just kind of be not too high and not too low.
Yeah, 100%. It reminds me of the, all I can hear is that song going through my head. You've surely seen the meme of the Toyota Yaris bouncing along everywhere it goes.
Yes.
It's just that playing around in my head at the minute. And I can't sing it live on air because I'll probably get demonetised. John Tusting down the inside of Martin Kenyon. Martin's fallen back a little bit in this race. He's not having the run that he would have wanted after starting 6th, finishing 6th in race 1. But it's actually calmed down a little bit since the incidents we saw earlier. That has been the only position change in the last 3 minutes, believe it or not. John Tusting and Martin Kenyon going one way, then the other. Alex Johnson and Danny Weir for cross development are just in the background of this. There is Alex and there is Danny. He actually asked in Discord between races if he could stop getting hit in the Weir, which, I mean, I love the fact that he's fully embraced the complete slander of his username. Well, it is his username, but his surname.
Yeah.
But I tell you, Lee Aberdeen... Oh, it didn't quite change camera in time there. Lee Aberdeen's having can't speak tonight. He's having a blast, isn't he?
He really is. This is the kind of, I think, evening we've expected more of from Lee this season.
Yeah.
He clearly has the pace. He's just been unable to kind of put these, heats and then features together, or your sprints and then your features together in this way. And I mean, it's not like he's having it all his own way, to be fair. That gap is still well under a second. Maybe over a second, though, after Kevin Zemstra has a go on Jake Cranston inside line then for the Dutchman. And Cranston backs out very early down the straight to back out of that one. But clearly playing the percentages game, and it's Kevin Zemstra to P2.
Taylor Layton has just overtaken Sean Clark, and so too has Lee Berridge. These two going by means that Sean is unfortunately out of the points. Let's see this fight between these pair, though, as they go side by side towards turn 1. Taylor is hidden behind the timing tower. Not for very long, just gets in front before they get into turn 1 and says thank you very much. Those two will just be now trying to plough on and just grab a few points towards the tail end of the order. Still a long way to go. Jonsson has just gotten past John Tusting. He's now going to go chasing Martin Kenyon. We know that Alex is very, very quick. He's actually got the highest I rating in the series, says Alex, 6,200. Which probably explains why he drives like a maniac, because I think every time you get over 4,000, you lose all you lose all seriousness. But no, in all seriousness, Alex is on a mission and making places up. He had that incident earlier. He's actually now back into 9th place where he started this race. He'll be a bit disappointed by that statistic, won't he?
Yeah, I mean he's got 6k I rating. I mean that's a lot more than me. That's I can tell you that for free. That's not surprising to anybody either. But he's just kind of bubbling around there, isn't he? He's going forwards, then he's kind of slipping backwards through a couple of little mistakes. So we'll see how we can get it, righted in the final half of this race. Already past 15 minutes, so sprint race distance in this one. As we are on lap 11, which is how long the opening race of the evening was. Lee Aberdeen, though, still holding off the rest. Cranston really coming under pressure from Fitzpatrick. If anything, he's just going to keep the heat up on Kevin Zemstra for the time being. And Kevin isn't really able to, keep Lee Aberdeen on quite as tight of a leash, is he? He's a couple of tenths further away than Jake Cranston was. And I worry that if he drops another couple of tenths away, he's going to become very vulnerable to Jake re-overtaking and maybe Sam Fitzpatrick getting through as well.
Yeah, I think if they don't do anything about Lee soon before the pit stops, then it's all going to go to pot. Sam did say last time out that the reason he jumped Jack Reeve in the pit stops but then couldn't keep him behind was that he didn't take tyres, basically. Some of them don't take rears sometimes, so that's why the car is even more squirrely after what looks like a usual set of pit stops. But they can take the same amount of fuel, and it's actually the tyres that start to slow them down in terms of, instead of a fuel volume. So just because their stop is shorter doesn't mean they haven't taken as much fuel as their competitors. Jake Cranstow now back down the inside. He's fed up as Zemstra being in front of him, and he says, look, I want to be the lead car. I want to go chasing down that big yellow thing at the front, which is Lee Aberdeen. And he is once again having a lovely, lovely race, is Lee. Touch wood, because we've seen him have hardware failures. We've seen him just have spins, completely, no pressure spins. I remember the very first race meeting in the season. Remember, he had the lead at Mid-Ohio, and with his pace, we thought, you know what, he's won this race. And we were only about 10 minutes in, weren't we? And then all of a sudden, he was off and beached.
Yeah. Well, it can happen, isn't it? But he does have the lead at the moment. Can we say that? Is that good enough?
Yeah.
If he's winning, he's in the lead.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was awful. But he's doing well, and it's unsurprising, really. Oh, as Fitzpatrick gets past Zemstra behind. Was that a mistake? Was that contact? Because last time check there was a good 10.5 between them, and they're both a little bit further off the back of Cranston here. Let's see. Fitzpatrick, is there a kick of oversteer? I feel like there will be on the exit. Gets a little bit wide through the corner, or did he just send it, Sam? Ooh, finally a bit of aggression from the championship leader. Going for the inside line, controlling it beautifully. That is a textbook overtake from Sam Fitzpatrick. And he knows that if he can get to P1, even if Cranston doesn't drop any... Oh, okay, we'll scrap that. Here comes Zemstra. Well, it doesn't matter anymore. Zemstra's back through from P3.
Yeah, they've thought, stuff it, we're just fighting now, are we? And they are cracking on with this. Cranstone is now cleared off by 1.3 seconds. He's further away from these guys than he is from Lee Aberdeen, actually. He's 1.1 seconds back from the race leader. Sam Fitzpatrick now moves to the left. Look in the background as well. Jack Reeve and Alex Fretwell are getting friendly. I don't think Fretwell's attacking because he wants to try and catch up with this and maybe get a podium spot. They both run wide out of Desida de Largo. And we have got a fight on our hands here between Kevin Zemstra and Sam Fitzpatrick. Back down the inside goes Zemstra. Sam's going to carry some big momentum around the outside, but it's not going to work there. Wheel to wheel as they go into the next right-hander. Zemstra's going to have the favoured line, runs a little bit wide, tiny bit of contact. Sam sends it back up the inside of him, also runs wide, gives him the shoulder on the exit. Whoa, that was feisty stuff.
Yeah, making sure that they're well known to each other, I think, as we get towards the half-race point. Half-race, yeah, as we get near halfway. Let's go with that. Fretwell on the back of this as well. Jack Reeve, not able to make as many inroads as we've seen him make in the last few weeks, but he's still doing well inside the top 5 and going along nicely as well. Jake Cranston has been so consistent this season that if he finished 6th in this race right now, he'd have to drop this round.
Yeah.
Because that's how consistent he's been. He finished, 4th in race 1.
Yeah.
He finished 6th in race 2. That'd be worse than he's done all season long.
Yeah.
He's just kept picking up points week after week. And just somehow not been enough to keep him right next to Sam Fitzpatrick in terms of that points tally. Which is surprising in a way, because when you have that kind of level of consistency, I mean, he's finishing at worst, really, 3rd and 5th.
Yeah.
At worst,
Yeah.
every single week. And that's the kind of consistency you think would put you right at the top of the tree. And it would if you didn't have someone who wins every week and comes 2nd if they're not winning. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate for Jake, but he has been by far the 2nd most consistent driver in the group.
Yeah, definitely. I think just looking at the results, I mean, he was 3rd in the first race of the season, and then first, 4th. He had a run then of 5 races there with no podium. 4th, 5th, 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 4th. 2 podiums in a row, and then a 7th and a 4th. So, yeah, he's had consistency, but it's in bursts. What I find ironic is that other than Matt Hoyland, who DNF'd the very first race of the season, would you like to know who was classified in 17th in that race?
Yeah, I would love to.
It was Sam Fitzpatrick.
Oh, yes.
Sam Fitzpatrick was classified 17th in the very first race of the season. He now leads the championship, and if this goes right, could win it in this race. Lee Aberdeen into the pit lane. He will make his way down into the garage. He'll be right in the end garage as he started on the front row of the grid. Up onto the jacks he goes for tyres, and behind him in the pit lane we have Jack Reeves, Stuart Clark, Alex Johnson, Martin Kenyon. Lee Aberdeen already on his way out. Now let's show everybody, Dara, this pit lane exit, because, well, it's important, isn't it? You need to practice this because it's a big, big place to lose time.
It's absolutely, and it's the underlying element to every single race that isn't practiced enough, particularly when you have weird and wild pit entries and exits. And Interlagos does kind of have that through turn 1, 2, and 3. If you're not really, you could walk out of the pit lane at a nice slow speed when you're just getting some practice in, and look at your monitors, chat to a couple of people that you're in a voice channel with, and not really focus as you're leaving the pit lane, and then get going once you're on the track. But really, you're missing out on the chance to really learn how to nail that pit exit. I mean, it sounds silly because you'll only go through it once, but you really can gain or lose a huge chunk of time through there if you do it properly.
Yeah.
And it's a really underrated part of the race because so many mistakes happen in the bit. I mean, if nothing else, is stopping on your marks. If you don't stop on your marks properly, you have to go backwards, and that's an absolute nightmare to have to try and manage with. Making sure you don't speed in the pit lane as well, really important one, because that can throw away your race as well. All of these little variables, you don't really think about it when you're asked about a race, as Fretwell may have done exactly that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex, for mentioning it. But it's not something that you necessarily think of when you think of how you're going to approach a race, and yet it's probably one of the most important elements.
Cranstone, oh, and Fitzpatrick coming out the pits. I'm not sure if they would have been ghosted through one another at that point, but Cranstone, well, he's certainly been caught by Sam there. Sam was in the box once again for a lot less than the drivers around him, which has given him a bit of an advantage. So he's caught up to Cranstone. He's gotten away from Zemstra. Zemstra is still ahead of Jack Reeve, but he's now a little bit more lonely. And Fretwell, unfortunately, is having to sit there and serve this now, watching drivers come in and go out of the pit lane. Alex Johnson just ahead of Martin Kenyon. But poor Alex Fretwell. He'll only be getting going in about 3, 2, 1. Any time now, he should be leaving the pit lane. Oh dear, that's going to feel absolutely horrible. And to put it this way as well, Dara, 40 seconds is nearly half a lap round here.
Yeah,
Oh!
It's just... Oh.
Taylor Lane and Simon Price have just come to blows there. I heard the noise of the accident in the foreground. Not a clue what's happened to the two of them there. Taylor's gone to make the move maybe, or Simon's lost it on the curb. Oh no, he's just been caught out by it. That was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Simon had a bit of a wobble, got on the brakes, and then Taylor just had no time to react, unfortunately. Simon just clips it there. He only lifts, actually, he doesn't even brake, and then the two of them sort of get weirdly stuck together. And that is race done for those two, I believe, unless they come back out afterwards to try and snatch a point. But Silas Cragvrolic is now, even after the incident he had earlier, back in the points. Sean Clark is running in 14th place, and he at the moment is on the way to his first points in Formula CDM. Hats off to Sean. He may not have had a ring of results to write home about, but he's been plucky and pushing on every single week, and he's been turning up every time. Hats off to him. And it'll be really good to see that rewarded with not just 1 but 2 championship points if he continues on for the next 15 minutes without any challenges. Jake Cranstone seems to be his own challenger there. He's really pushing it through there, isn't he?
Yeah, making sure that he is on it. The Aberdeen is clear. Fitzpatrick is very much in his frame of mind right now. Of course, this is a big swing in terms of the championship. It'd be an 8-point swing in favour of Sam Fitzpatrick. And when we're talking about heading into next week and the requirements that we're going to find, Cranston needing, I mean, he'll obviously need Sam Fitzpatrick to either not show up or to crash in both races. But either way, whether that happens or not, needing a first and a first is much different to needing maybe a second and a fourth, which can be a really big difference depending on how this battle finishes. We're going to have another, I think, 10 laps or so of this race. In fact, yeah, probably exactly 10 laps to go to get a result in this one. I was also going to say as well, with Silas now inside the top 15, this would be the hardest anybody has worked all evening to get 4 points for.
It will, yeah. He's there just in the background of this, actually, but he's a lap down on these guys, so he doesn't really need to entertain this fight. He doesn't need to start this... Yeah, I was going to say.
He's finding the meatballs.
Yeah.
He's going for more.
He's finding the meatballs. Oh, God. He didn't need to force the issue there with Martin, and I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do, because Martin's trying to have his own fight. He's still somehow in that battle, actually, with Stuart Clark. I nearly said Sean Clark there. Kenyon down the inside. Car gets squirrely on the brakes. Stuart has to take avoiding action. That's going to help Alex Johnson out, because he can now clear off up the road and get away from these guys. But the battle is still very much on between Cranstone and Fitzpatrick. This would mean Sam Fitzpatrick would be on 214 points, 30 ahead of Jake Cranstone, which would mean all he'd have to do is outscoring by a single point in the first race at Barber in a week's time. He would be 37 ahead of Lee Aberdeen, so Lee would have to do a hell of a lot of work to then go on to obviously stay in championship contention. and they would be the only 3, if anything. Because, yeah, the rest of them, 60 points to Aaron Smith, 73 to Zemstra, 74 to Reeve. Alexis de Klerk, unfortunately, not here tonight to continue on his charge in the championship. Fitzpatrick has gotten past Jake Cranstone. He'll get back past him in a moment, I'm sure. Let's have a look at how he did this, Dara.
Here we go then. Towards turn 1, championship leader, the man with one hand on the championship, looking to try and solidify that position now. Inside line, gets the slipstream, gets the run, gets the apex, gets P2. That's pretty much as simple as it gets for any kind of overtake.
Absolutely is, and he's defended it through Desida Delago as well. It's not as easy to say as people think. Jake Cranstone right up behind him, hoping to try and find some form of gap down the inside somewhere, but looks like Sam's just been able to, well, strangely preserve that car, actually, because let's not forget, he's had a shorter pit stop, so that probably means, once again, he hasn't taken the rear tyres, which means they're going to be shredded after that first stint. We're getting a good look at them right now from on board the nose of Jake Cranstone's PM18. But I tell you, he's not out of the woods yet, is Fitzpatrick. Just under 12 minutes left to go in this race, and I mean, I wouldn't fancy having Jake Cranstone chase me down in any car, no matter how fast I was. Jake is lightning quick, and he's very methodical as well, is Mr. Cranstone. He'll, similar to Sam actually, they're both very similar in how they race. You know, they would lull you into a false sense of security thinking, nah, he's not going to send it, and then out of nowhere, bang, arrow to the chest. And you are suddenly impaled by a fantastic manoeuvre that you couldn't even imagine. Sam backed out of that there and let him go. Wow, look at the gap. Sam really backed out of that and let him go there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, he's clearly just trying to play the long game here, and just trying to give himself that almost definite margin of error. But he's just, this isn't quite the Sam that I think we've seen all season long. Really, he is just playing this very, very safe indeed. Outside line at turn 1. I think he knew that it would have been difficult in turn 2. Backs out, but backs out heavily, and obviously that's going to affect the run through 3 all the way down the Retta Aposta towards turn 4. And yeah, interesting. I mean, they've both lost a lot of time to Lee Everdeen, but they're both ahead of Zemstra. I guess this still isn't a bad position for Sam to find himself in, but I mean, it's going to require a result next week, isn't it? Because if Lee Everdeen replicates this, then Sam Fitzpatrick cannot afford a big error, really, as we get to the final round of the season.
I still giggle, you know, probably once a week at the time you explained to me that you had made a visual error back on a broadcast many moons ago, and every time I hear the word error, that's all I hear in the background is you very calmly explaining that you made a visual error. I can't even remember what broadcast that's on to go back and find it now, but that had me in absolute bits, and it still does. Sam Fitzpatrick is now, thanks to the slipstream, right back with Jake Cranstone, but how hard he's going to try to overtake him remains to be seen, I think. I'm not sure if he's just going to sit behind him until maybe the last lap, because as Dara has rightly pointed out, Sam is taking this very easy compared to what we'd seen in the past, and when by the past I mean probably the last half hour, because he's really been pushing as if there isn't a championship on the line. But it's his to lose at this point. The gap would be, if it finished like this with Cranstone in second place and Fitzpatrick in third, 30 points going to Sam. Well, 30-point advantage, sorry, going into the final round. If he finishes ahead, it'd be 38. So he still wouldn't be champion, but he would certainly be a good number closer, because 8 points, I mean, you'd have to be third or above in the sprint race to make up for that. You don't get many points in the sprint races, so yeah, certainly a lot of hard work to be done by anybody who wants to try and take the Formula CDM Americas Series title away from the reigning and final Chaz Draycott Media Formula 1 World Champion, Sam Fitzpatrick. Let me remind you, he is champion with Benetton in Formula 1. Oh, big lock up there, but gets it stopped. Fair play.
Yep, it's a good move, or good defence, really. As we're coming towards the final stages here, inside line will go back to Jake Cranston, though. down in towards turn 4 at Decido del Lago. Will he be able to make this one work? Will Sam find it around the outside? The latter is definitely true. Can he get this move done on the inside, Jay Cranston? It's going to turn to the outside into Ferradura, and he's not going to have a full car length alongside. This looks like Sam Fitzpatrick should be able to hold on, but it's difficult to make sure you know exactly where the car on the outside is going to be. In this case, it's going to be a full car length behind as he sent it back into turn 7. I didn't think he would, and in the end he doesn't, thinks better of it, and stays in P3. But all of this has just allowed Lee Aberlin to walk away at the front of the field. It is now a battle of P2 between Sam Fitzpatrick and Drake Cranston. I thought it was going to be done for this lap. It hasn't been completed. Jake Cranston's still plucking it in there. They just do not leave each other alone.
No, they do not. They are really pushing on. Very, very strong stuff. Lee Aberdeen is definitely enjoying himself out there at the front, though. He is now 4 seconds clear of this fight, and he is on his way to become the 4th driver ever to win both races in one night in Formula CDM. The first of which was Kio Tiago Marto, no surprise there. Second of which was Fabio Grassetto at the end of last season, if you remember rightly, at Imola. Hadn't won a race all season, and then on home soil won both of the races in the final meeting. And then earlier this season we saw a fantastic performance by our current championship leader Sam Fitzpatrick to go on and do that, and now Lee Aberdeen wants to replicate the performance that his teammate has put in. But to be honest, out of everybody that was going to do it, we thought Lee Aberdeen would probably be one of the first, didn't we?
We absolutely did. No doubt about that. But it is interesting, I think, to see how it's panned out over the course of this evening. I mean, Lee hasn't really been touched, has he? Realistically. He's
no.
Been really calm. And yes, he wasn't able to get away easily at the front of the field too early on. But it didn't bother him, and he's not flustered him, and he was able to stay in the lead the whole time. And even on the strategy, despite being in the lead that whole time, he pitted slightly earlier, and it still worked out quite well for him. So, all in all, pretty perfect evening for Lee, with a few minutes left to run itself to a conclusion, but just 4 laps to get himself to a double race win tonight.
Yeah, he'll be over the moon with that if he can make it work. Just needs to keep plugging away. These guys have actually caught up a little bit on this last lap compared to Lee. We'll see what the lap times are like this time round. They've got Sean Clark just in front of them there. He's going to want to stay over to the left, and he's going to let them by. He's slowing down, look to move out of the way. Cranston goes over to the right. Nice to see that Sean has changed his approach to letting leaders by after Laguna Seca. He was so great in the way that he owned that. You know, he really did, and he was lovely to deal with about that. And hats off to him. Oh my goodness me! Bit of a straddle of the curb there for Jake Cranstone, and he runs very, very wide. But I tell you, he didn't look too comfortable there, did he?
No, it didn't look like the easiest moment in the world, but we are really now getting down to the final stages, aren't we? Overtaking, possibilities are reducing by the corner, quite frankly, because with only 3 more tours down towards turn 1 and 3 more tours down towards turn 4, Jake Cranston's going to start to think that opportunities are starting to run out. But I don't think he'll panic just yet, because he's been this close for some time and he's been able to have a couple of looks, so there is no reason to panic just yet. But he knows that realistically his slim championship aspirations have to depend on making this move. As it stands, he'd currently be in P3 in the championship, 1 point behind Lee Aberdeen, but there'd be 37 and 38 points back on Sam respectively, which realistically would require Sam to finish... not on that line, first of all, but outside the top 9 in both races next week, and for one of them to win both of them, so it's such a tall order. I thought it was going to the pit lane. They're very tight line on the inside, but well, it's not ended yet, has it? Because they just don't stop.
There was a very, very strange moment there. That was really weird. Sam properly backed out of that. I want to see it from an external shot. So Sam was just running really wide, and Jake was sort of following him over there, wasn't he? That was a really strange moment. Sam went on the curb and sort of straddled it, as you can see here, Tony Hawk's, and then Jake almost just drives towards him and scares the pair of them. But you know what that's done, don't you? That's brought Kevin Zemstra into this picture now. This could shake up certain things in the championship. No, Silas has had a drama. Oh, it's all gone to pot, and he's got Alex Johnson around him again. These two are a bad influence on each other. Oh, dearie me. Oh, no. He's Alboned
You know what
it.
he's looking for, Chaz?
Sorry?
You know what he's looking for?
I know exactly what he's looking for. Yeah, he's looking for the exit of the IKEA.
He's just about to get through the children's toys section. He's nearly there.
Oh, I'd be in there looking at Hot Wheels for an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Weir has just been overtaken by John Roberts. But yes, coming back to the main point here, Kevin Zemstra, he's in slipstream range of these two. And look, Sam knows it. Sam's getting way out of the way. He doesn't want to be cutting through the air for nobody.
Nope, doesn't want to be giving too much away, in a way, in terms of that slipstream. But, I mean, it's coming down to 2 laps now, isn't it? So Kevin Zemstra doing everything he can to try and get himself a little bit further up the order. He is gaining a lot of points now in Smith, to the point where he could be fighting for P4 in the championship this time next week. Jack Reeve is there as well, in fact. So it'll be a nice little battle for P1 and then P4 as well in 7 days' time. None of the positions are really finalised just yet. Even in this race, Kevin Zemstra could still put himself into P2, depending on what happens in front of him, and whether he can maybe put together a final lap and a half charge. And we've seen stranger this season, haven't we?
We have, yeah. We've certainly seen stranger things this season. Namely, what happened at the end of the first race with Alex Johnson and Silas Greg-Vrolic. Not that I'm still bitter about it. Lee Aberdeen, though, he's had a pretty exemplary night, hasn't he? Pole position, he was fastest in practice. He drove away at the front. He's had to work a bit harder for it in this second race, though, because he had to defend very hard earlier from a great charge by Jake Cranstone and Kevin Zemstra and Sam Fitzpatrick even. But you know what? He's held them off. He's not just driven away here. Barney, the flagman, waving the French military flag to signify the end of the race, or the final lap of the race. And now Sam Fitzpatrick, he's starting to send it down the inside of Jake Cranstone. He says, stuff the championship, I want to race. Let's see how this goes, shall we?
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, it's perfect for him because it gives him that extra buffer with a few points compared to his competitors. But Jake Cranstone's not going to give this one lying down. He's going to look for the outside line because the inside line is defended very, very aggressively by Sam Fitzpatrick. He has to walk it around the outside of this double right-hander. Fitzpatrick has the advantage of the radius of the corner, but he's not got the advantage in terms of the speed. Great line from Jake Cranston to walk it around the outside, and have the inside line for Ferradura as well. We've seen roles reversed into this corner, and the lap's gone by, and the car on the outside does not come off too well. And once again, Jake Cranston on the inside is the one to come off a little bit better, but Sam Fitzpatrick gets a great exit. It's going to run to the line, I think, this one.
I think it is, yeah, and it was, I mean, Jake had to defend the inside line there. We've seen Sam put a move up the inside there and into here before. Don't think he's close enough to make it stick this time round, though. He's not going to go for it. So it's going to all be looking good for Sam in the championship heading into the final round of the season at Barber in a week's time. But how about this at the front? Lee Aberdeen is about to round the final corner here at Interlagos, and he needed a good night to get himself back in contention. He's had an absolute stormer of a night. The 4th driver ever to win both races in the night in the Formula CDM, any Formula CDM series, but in the Americas Series is Lee Aberdeen. Very well done to him, and it's Cranstone and Fitzpatrick to the line, and it's Cranstone that gets second place. Sam Fitzpatrick puts one hand on the trophy with that result. Jack Reeve finishes in 6th position. And I tell you what, Martin Kenyon, he said before tonight he wants to beat John Tusting in the championship. John is on his way to finish car 9, P9. But what a night that is for Martin Kenyon. 2 6th positions. He'll be buzzing with that.
Yeah, and a great evening for Martin Kenyon. Picking up a really decent chunk of points over the course of the evening. 17, in fact. Which is a great evening's work. From Martin. Alex Fretwell, I think, maybe disappointed in the end after that slowdown. That speeding penalty really cost him a top 6 finish himself. But Martin's not complaining, is he?
No, absolutely not. Martin will be pretty happy. Alex, at least, still in the points. 10th place for him. John Roberts will also be scoring some points after another solid feature race from him. He finishes ahead of Danny Weir and then Lee Berridge. And how about this, though? Sean Clark has crossed the line and scores his first points in Formula CDM. He made his debut earlier on in the season and now finally has some championship points to his name. He's had a bit of a tough climb, but he's certainly got there, and he'll be over the moon with that. Simon Price crossing the line in 15th place. He scores another championship point for his troubles. But at the top, it is Lee Aberdeen after another, well, I called it an exemplary night, and I'm going to repeat myself. Absolutely, utterly exemplary.
Yeah, perfect night for Lee Aberdeen. It couldn't have gone better than that. Pole, win. I mean, quite physically, it's the perfect evening, isn't it? There is no better than that in terms of the points, in terms of how you're going to be feeling going into next week. He'll just, I think, maybe feel a slight sadness that if he could have done this a couple more times this season, then he'd have a better shot going into next week for the title. Yeah,
absolutely. There it is. Feature result. Lee Aberdeen, fastest out of everybody tonight. And look at that, 1,000th of a second between Jake Cranstone and Sam Fitzpatrick. I tell you, you're either ahead or you're not. And it doesn't matter by how much. Jake Cranstone will be preaching that for a bit. Sam Fitzpatrick third, Kevin Zemstra fourth. A good night for him again. Jack Reeve recovered really well considering that he had a spin in the first race. Martin Kenyon, great night in sixth place. Welcome back Alex Johnson. He had a busy evening as well. Stuart Clark, John Tusting and Alex Fretwell complete the top 10. More points for John Roberts, more points for Danny Weir, points for Lee Berridge as well after another difficult evening. Sean Clark finished 14th and Simon Price got another point. Silas Cragvrolic finished in 16th ahead of Taylor Lane and Victor Oliveira. Next up and out of the race and out of championship contention was Aaron Smith. Now I'm going to quickly just try and retrieve what could be the points for this one, so please do bear with me and we'll see. This is now with, obviously some drivers may have drop scores and things included in this, Aaron Smith being one of them. Aaron, I think with his drop score, should end up being on 154 points. So he would... No, that's not added it in, has it? That hasn't added it in.
No.
No, it's not. That's the points before. It's because I've clicked the wrong button. This is where it should be. Aaron Smith would be on 154 points. But it's a 30-point lead for Sam Fitzpatrick heading into the final round of the season, with Jake Cranstone and Lee Aberdeen in chase. Great night for Lee Aberdeen, moves him back ahead of Aaron Smith. He is further clear than Kevin Zemstra than that graphic actually gives out, but I tell you, Zemstra and Reeve very close together as well, and it's close further down the order. Great night for Kenyon, moves him right up. Aaron Smith, obviously the second, not having a night to remember. John Roberts up 3 places as well, so all shaky and, well, we called it crunch time, didn't we, earlier, Dara? I mean, you're absolutely right. It certainly has been at this late stage of the season.
Yeah, and, I mean, at this point in the season, you're looking for who can just keep that momentum going into the final couple of weeks, who can make that late push and get the big results that they've been looking for all season. In the end, that was Lee Aberdeen tonight that was able to really pull through and give himself the best chance possible at maybe going for that championship win, but it's a bit of a long shot.
Absolutely is. Jake Cranstone still in the mix as well. Jake, welcome to the box, mate. You must be sweating a bit after that one. It certainly looked like a lot of hard work.
Yeah, it was good fun. At least I've earned my place to be back in the interview box again. So yeah, it was good fun.
Absolutely looked like it, mate. Yeah, we were just talking about your season throughout the race, actually, because you had bursts of podiums and wins, and then a lot of fourths and fifths, and then podiums again, and then back to fourths and fifths. What's been going on, effectively? Has there been any specific shift that you've noticed?
I think after the first few rounds, I realised any tracks that you have to use first gear is where I lose loads of time, because I just, for some reason, it doesn't work with my style.
Interesting.
And every single track thus far has had a first gear corner in it, so that's the excuse I'm going to go with.
Well, I mean, either way, regardless of how it goes in a week's time at Barber, you've had a hell of a season. How would you round it up from a driver's perspective? Because it seemed really competitive.
It's definitely competitive, yeah, and at times I've definitely not been, the fastest, so it's been fun to try and push myself to the absolute limit to try and keep up with these guys. And yeah, this car is super fun to drive and super fun to catch slides when you're all over the place, so yeah, really enjoyed it.
I was going to say, I'm glad you're finding it fun, because it is a little nightmare of a car sometimes. It really does try and kill you, but yeah, it certainly looks great from here as well. How do you feel about going to Barber? Is it a circuit you enjoy?
I mean, the only thing I've ever raced there is a Jetta, so I don't think that's comparable, to be honest.
Oh, of course it's the Jetta. I think you've probably raced the Jetta at every track on iRacing, have you not?
Yeah, well, yeah, we did sweat and try and set lap times on garage on every single variant of every track. Yes.
Wow, I like that. I like that. See, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I remember Barber was just difficult to overtake. I think because there's just so many corners. But I think it's a fun track to drive. But the racing will be interesting. I think.
It'll be difficult, I think. It'll be one where qualifying is pivotal. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go, though, Jake?
Well, just shout out to anyone who has tuned in. Thanks for watching throughout the season, and appreciate your support. And thanks to you guys for commentating and putting it on, Chaz, and all the guys that I'm racing with near the front. I'm glad I made it back up to race with them tonight after the qualifying mishap. So yeah, good fun.
Thanks as always for joining us, Jake. Well done again on a fantastic evening, and we'll see you again soon.
See you later.
Well, Dara, we'll move straight on from speaking to Jake to speaking to the man that's probably one of the happiest people out there tonight. How about Mr. Kenyon with Dara Thacker?
Yeah, welcome in, Martin. P6 twice for you tonight. It's a great result for you. How are you feeling after that?
Well, to say like the top 5 or so in this league are well out of range for most of us in here, so I think that'll count as a win, or 2 wins for me.
Yeah, I mean, talk to us about qualifying as well, because your time came in pretty early, but it's stuck at the top for some time. I mean, you're feeling which sometimes come in slower than yours.
Qualifying, I've been struggling in qualifying like all through season, so I've sort of been practicing just going out, doing a warm-up lap, just doing one flying lap, and just getting used to how the tyres are still cold and stuff. So it really helped me get a decent lap in.
Yeah, and it really did put you in a great position to kind of get away from the chaos that happened behind you. Did you see much of, the battling through race 1, or you just trying to keep your head down and pick up the points?
Well, I was sort of in the battle for the first 5 or 6 laps, and then 2 guys behind me sort of dropped back by a second. So I was able to calm myself down and get my own rhythm and just clear away from them all. Then, so but while I was in the battle for the first few laps, it was quite tough.
Yeah, it really was. It really, really was. But next week, we're heading to a little bit more of an unfamiliar track, Barber. Is that a track you're looking forward to racing at? You think you can replicate these results?
I've driven Barber a few times. I don't quite like it. It's too up and down, and there's too many blind corners, if I remember rightly, and it's quite tricky. Yeah, and these cars are quite floaty when you're going over sort of lumps and bumps, so it's going to be a challenge for everyone, I think.
Yeah, definitely an excitement to round out the season. But well done on your 2-6 place tonight, Martin. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to on the stream?
You and Chaz, my teammate Francois, who's always putting up a white flag and not turning up a few times. And anyone else who knows me, really.
Well said, Martin. Well said. Well, good results for you tonight, and yeah, good luck for next week.
Thank you very much.
Smashing stuff. Martin Kenyon. I thought he'd be a bit more buzzing than that, but he's probably knackered, to be honest, because it looked like quite a tough evening, that one. Speaking of a tough evening, Alex Fretwell joins us in the box. Alex, great first race for you, but unfortunately it disassembled a little bit in the second one. How are you feeling after that? Because it looked like a tough night on all counts.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, good. First race, gained a couple of places on lap 1, and yeah, sort of tried sticking with the leaders, but just on one lap got over a second behind and lost the toe, so pretty much ran the rest of that myself. Again, race 2, clean start, and that time I managed to really stick with the toe. Just as I was starting to edge out of it, I think Jack made a little mistake, which got me back in it until the pit stop. And then yeah, I was actually really cautious, got it slowed down to about 75, so well under, and then I'd kept it in a high gear just to make sure I didn't get any rear locking or anything on pit entry. And then yeah, as I banged the gears down, obviously the revs came up, and that's when the speed came up as well. So I don't know if I double clicked it or just missed it or what, but yeah, there was no limiter on.
Oh man, it's so fickle sometimes, that sort of thing, isn't it? And Dara and I were talking about the pit exit as well. You know, it's one of those pit exits where you can just push it that bit too hard or lose a lot of time, and it's something that people often overlook, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, even in practice, I'd run through the pits a couple of times just to sort of refresh my memory, and yeah, I was really happy with it. It's just one of those sort of things you can't really practice for missing the pit limiter, can you?
No, absolutely not. How do you feel about going to Barber for the season finale then?
Yeah, bring it on. It's been an interesting season. Obviously, a lot of different tracks. Like I think you mentioned on the broadcast, compared to last week, this is night and day. And again, like Laguna, all my tracks where I seem to show a bit of pace, I managed to find a way to not do anything with it.
Yeah, that's fair. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Just you guys as always, listening along. Yeah, thought the move was not too bad in the first race. A little bit of grass.
Scared the life out of me. Thanks as always though, Alex, and we look forward to seeing you at Barber.
Yeah, cheers guys.
Cheers. There's lots of grass room there. Still, Dara, what a fantastic night of racing we've had once again here in the Formula CDM Americas Series. How do we wrap that one up?
Well, I mean, it quieted down a little bit in the second race, but it was never going to match that opening 15-minute sprint, was it? That was an absolute chaos fest of just wild and weird, and exactly why we love racing in these cars. They work on tight circuits, they work on street circuits, they work on the classics as well. And it was great to see Lee Aberdeen get himself back to the top once again. It's given him a bit of a push towards that title, but I mean, it's all going to come down to next week, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely will do. That is all for now, though. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you all the drivers for putting on a hell of a show, and everybody that continues to support the Formula CDM Americas Series. We've got a hell of a title showdown going on as we head to Barber, but Sam Fitzpatrick has one hand on the trophy, and if you join us in a week's time, you'll see just how well he can get the other one on it as well. Thanks for watching, though, and we'll see you in a week's time. Have a good night.